This is the engine bay of a 1969 Camaro. This guy is a big block at this point anyway. It is cast iron head motor from what I can determine. They look like they're aluminum, but I believe they are cast iron. The water pump is brand new on it. You can see it's a complete fresh rebuild top to bottom on this vehicle. It has a set of equal length long tube headers on it. I'm going to call them 1 7/8. I know they're not 2 inch. I'm going to call them 1 7/8. New set of high silicone plug wires on it. Let's see if I can see the distributor here. An HEI distributor set up in it. New alternator on it. All new hoses. The heat is still hooked up to the passenger compartment and functional. Correct style valve pan covers on it. Dual plane air gap Edelbrock aluminum intake manifold on it. It has a dual line Hawley carburetor. I can't see if it's a double pumper or if it's a vacuum secondary, but that'll also be on the spec sheet that Donnie tells you. The configuration of this engine, whether it's a 396, a 402, 454, I really don't know. We just got this car in. It'll be in our spec sheet. Donnie will determine its original origin anyway, at least what it started life at. It's a big block Chevy. It's very difficult to tell you exactly how many inches there are in it without tearing the motor down. The market has so many stroker kits available for these, and guys, when they rebuild them, a lot of times that's what they'll do. They'll make a stroker engine out of it. It has a new alternator on it. It has new belts on it, power steering, power disc brakes, relatively new dual stage master cylinder on it. Brake proportioning valve is brand new, stainless steel brake lines on it. The radiator is a high flow, high capacity big block radiator the way it would have come from the factory. The correct style molded hoses that come with it. The clutch fan has a nice tight clutch on it yet, just the way it should be. Dual horns in the front. The radiator core support is just as fresh as you'd ever hope to find one. There's no indication of any trauma ever been subjected to this vehicle. Geez, let me see here. Oh, AA arm front suspension, chrome moly. Real high dollar front suspension on this guy. We haven't been under it yet, but we'll give you a better determination as to the rest of the suspension on the car once we get under it. Geez, I can't. A new battery in it. I think Donnie just put that in. The wheel wells are painted semi-flat black, just the way they should be from the factory. PTB on the back, paint, tires, battery. On the firewall, just the way General Motors put it on when this car was leaving the plant new. The cowl tag is nice and legible and clear. You can determine exactly what the origination of this car was. It has a cowl induction hood and air cleaner and induction system on it. So it is a functional cowl induction system on this vehicle. Great looking engine compartment. It has also the original style valve pan covers on it. The car has a lot of originality to it to dictate that it was a big block car to begin with. It certainly looks at that point now. We'll determine exactly what it was somewhere in the spec sheet. Donnie will have it. Great engine compartment, really nice and clean, very well kept and detailed. It's just a great looking car. We'll see how it runs once we get it out on the road, but we're going to go around the rest of it and show you what we can. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and today our guest is a 1969 big block Camaro. Obviously, it's hugger orange. You can't miss that. Great looking paint job on this. It's certainly above a driver quality paint job on it. The fitment of the hood is very, very nice, with the exception I just noticed it's just a little bit high. These stoppers need to be turned down just a little bit to allow the hood to go down a little bit more on each end. But the fitment to the header panel to the front fenders is absolutely spot on. And like I say, it does have a cowl induction hood on it, which is a great addition to any Camaro. The grille has no windows missing in it. SS designation on the front. Front bumper has the bumper guards on it, which was an option on the car. Bumper fitment is right on. It cannot fit any better than it does there. Chrome on the front bumper, doesn't have any scuffs or marks on it. The parking lights in the front valance, just crystal clear as can possibly be. Spoiler on the front, no marks, no chips, no dingies out of it. Plastic, they're pretty easy to break. Even the little bumper guards on the front don't have any marks or indentations on them. Great looking car in the front of this thing. We got our hockey stripe going down the side here. This is tape also. You know, if you don't like it, take it off, but this is the way this car would have come as an SS in 1969. The Craig wiper arms, and, well, they're polished blades. They're the same style they should be, but they're polished. Looking inside the window, the dash pad itself has no warps or cracks or deviations on it. The top of the dash where it transitions to the front of the windshield, just as nice and clean as you'd ever hope to find. You can see that it does have a set of 14-inch SS wheels on it, which would have been an option on this car. Great looking set of wheels for this vehicle. The door fitment, really nice on this car. It does have dual mirrors also, the correct style for 1969. New wipes, whiskers on it. Drip rail, just as nice as you'd hope to ever find on this car. Look at the window fitment on this thing. You believe this? Absolute precision. Tinted glass front, tinted glass on the side. Again, look at the door fitment front and rear. New door handles on it. Door opens as it should. Looking inside the vehicle, it's got a wood wheel in it. White interior, obviously, black carpeting. Quadrant of gauges on the center console. The horseshoe shifter, just the way it would be for 1969. Great looking interior. The sill plates are nice and fresh and clean looking also. New rubbers all around on the vehicle. The armrests are the correct molded style armrests. They're not covered over with vinyl. Great looking fitment, great looking car inside. Devin will show you some better pictures in his still photo. Oh my. Wheel lip moldings are accenting the side of the car too. It really looks good with them. The little slats on the side, these are usually deteriorated. These are not. They're just as fresh and clean as they were when they were new. Hatch shelf in the back is the same way, just the way it left the factory. Nice and black, no deterioration or warpage or fade. Trim around the front window and the back window, precise, right on. You cannot make it fit any better than it does. The side of this car is just exemplary. The door fitment, other than that, the hood fitment on both sides, we have to turn the rubbers down a little bit, the stoppers to make it fit. I don't see anything on this car so far. Okay, going around the back of this little guy, the deck lid, you can see the same fitment as the hood in the front, just as nice as you could hope to find one. There's no bubbles or anything. A lot of times these spoilers are fiberglass, and they're an induction molded fiberglass. You'll find some defects in them and some like bubbling, but this one has absolutely none. SS designation on the back the way it would be. You can see nice clear tail light assemblies and bezels around them. Bumper guards in the rear also. Also no marks on the rubber inserts on them. Bumper fitment on the rear as it was in the front, just precise, right on. Rear valance, there's no pulls or marks or anything on it. This is really a good looking car. First I got a chance to really look at it, because we just got it. Original equipment style spare on a steel wheel. The jack is also present with the base. The trunk area, nice and fresh looking. I don't want to tear this up, but you can see that the entire car has been detailed to the nth degree. The trunk mat is the correct style plaid type that came with the car. Your jack instructions and caution label underneath the deck lid, just the way they would have been from the factory. New rubbers again on the doors. Everywhere on there's new rubber seals everywhere. Going around the right-hand side of the car, I have a feeling it's going to be just like the left-hand side. I don't see anything out of place on this thing. Jesus. Again, the window trim fitment, your drip rails, everything on this car fits just the way it's supposed to. There's no indication that anything is out of line. Again, the wipes, whiskers, nice and fresh. No marks on the door handle. Look at this gap. Look at that. The same thing in the front here. This is about as spot on a Camaro as you could get. Gorgeous interior in this thing and a great color combination. Look at this. It's a nice car. I happen to like Hugger orange. It's really a great color combination. The Hugger with the white and the black carpeting and accents. And don't forget the wood steering wheel and a nice addition to the interior of these cars. Everything, even the detail where it says GM, the GM mark of excellence. when they put new rubbers on these things, a lot of times you have to close the doors until those things sit. You have to give it a little bit more of a push to get the door shut. Again, our right-hand mirror complement the left one. Trim around this front window. Like I said, the back, the front, everything is spot on. Can't be any better. Look at the fitment of this, the hood to the cowl, to the fender, to the door. It doesn't get any better. We went around this whole car. I didn't find a chip, a mark, a scuff. This is certainly better than a driver quality vehicle as far as fitment and paint goes. It's certainly better than it ever was with General Motors in 1969. It's a Camaro. It's an SS style car. It has a big block in it. It's an automatic. It's got SS wheels on it, every indication showing it's an SS car. Great color combination. It's one of the most iconic muscle cars there ever was, the 1969 Camaro. Everyone likes 67s, 8s, and 9s. And you can't sell a guy a 69 that wants a 7 or an 8 or an 8 a 7. They're specific to each type of body style on the car. This particular one is certainly better than a driver quality car, but we're going to show you a whole bunch more stuff on it, and take a look at it because it's available at Hanksters in Daytona Beach. Okay, this is the underside of our Hunter Orange 1969 Camaro SS car, and there's no doubt this has started life as a real SS, but it's been upgraded a lot. It has a AA arm chrome moly front suspension on it with Zerk fittings on all the friction points, heavy-duty sway bar in the front, new brakes, new calipers, new rotors, new backing plates, new tie rod ends, new pitman arm, new idler arm. You can see the engine's been out and completely addressed, new starter. Everything on the front end of this car is new. It has been replaced, and you can see it's just all fresh, recent. This thing has been total rotisserie restoration on this vehicle. And it's just new everywhere. Obviously no leaks on the engine, no leaks on the bell housing area, or no leaks on the turbo tranny that's in the car also. It has, it even has new ball joints top and bottom. The subframes are absolutely undisrupted in any way. Everything is just as fresh as it was when it was new in 1969. The drive shaft has also been out and looks like it's been sanded and polished. New U-joint in the front, new U-joint in the back. Long tube headers going into 3-inch collectors, going into 3-inch primary pipes. Look at that. I mean, that's as nice as it gets. Really great looking system on this car. Parking brakes still hooked up and functional. Stainless steel brake lines have been replaced. The original style, and I believe it's stainless also, fuel line on the passenger side. Floor pans are just as they were when they were new. I can't tell if they've been replaced or if they've just been cleaned and completely done in a rotisserie restoration that obviously had been done on this vehicle. But as you can see, everything on this car, on the undercarriage, is new. There's nothing that's been left over from the original, just cleaned up or anything. This is all new components, all new wear items in the front suspension of the vehicle. Subframes in the back, torque boxes here. There's no holes or no dents, or there's no jack marks on this thing anywhere. Absolutely none. None on the front subframes, which, by the way, even have new bushings in them, or in the back here. Drum brakes in the back. Obviously, new shocks in the front, new shocks in the back. Multi-leaf rear suspension on this, rear springs. Flowmaster mufflers on it, giving a nice deep throaty sound to it. The drop downs in the quarter panels are nice and fresh and clean looking. And again, I can't tell if it's been replaced or if it's just originality. It almost appears like I can't see anywhere where it's been replaced. Everything's spot welded the way it was from the factory. So there's a good chance that this car was a complete rotisserie car on a rust-free body. Gas tank appears to be stainless steel. I don't know for sure without checking the wood magnet, but it appears to be a stainless tank and obviously been replaced. New lines going to it. Everything on this vehicle is better than it was when it was new in 1969. And again, you can see a complete leak-free drive line, at least in this point. You know, it doesn't mean a year from now or 2 years from now, you're not going to find a drip on your garage. Also, 12-bolt Chevy rear. Everything on this vehicle is indicative of a SS car for 1969. Fantastic. Oh, fresh round of rubber, front and back. There's nothing on the car that has not been addressed. It's as clean underneath as what you saw on top. It's a fantastic car, and it's here at Hanksters in Daytona. This is our 69 Hugger Orange Camaro. Horn is working just like it should. Let's check our wipers. Do them. Wipers functioning as they are supposed to. Stopping where they're supposed to also. Gas gauge fully functional, shows us just a hair over a quarter of a tank. We're going to assume the speedometer is going to work, but Devin will show you that in a minute here. Turn signal to the left, you can see it flashing away and indicating on the dashboard. Turn signal to the right, doing its act over here the same way. Let's see, radio. We don't do radios, but we'll try anyway. Well, it's lighting up. Radio works. You can believe that. Okay, radio works. We have a quadrant of gauges down here. The amp gauge is functioning, showing us about 14 volts charge. Water temperature just starting to come up. It's about 140 degrees. Just fired this guy up, showing about 60 pounds of oil pressure. And it even has a clock that apparently works. So we don't do clocks and radios, and they do work in this vehicle. So everything on this thing, it's got a wood grain style steering wheel in it, tri-spoke the way it would be on a Corvette. This is a really nice car. We're going to see how it runs for you. Somebody getting our a car delivered that they bought, the Pontiac GTO 67 red one. He's going to be real happy when he gets that car. Speedometer functioning as it should. You can see it's not jumping or moving around or anything. Car tracks down the road just as sweet as can be. Let me angle it right here. There we go. No hands on the wheel. Goes straight as an arrow down the road. Not a single deviation on it. Still no hands on the wheel. There's nobody behind me, so let's try brakes, no hands. Stop just as straight as you want. Nice tight running car. Nice steering resolution. It has a new steering box in it, so that's why it's a lot tighter than it was when it was originally new. Maple shifter in it. Everything in this interior is really fresh and clean looking and nice. It's a nice car. Turn it around here and give it a little shot. You've got to be careful that. Oh, here's our Chevelle, Ralph. This is Ralph and the Chevelle we sold too. That's about 70. Shut it off there. Nice running car. It's real crisp. Doesn't hammer into gear and shifts just like it would for a normal turbo transmission 400. It's a nice firm shift, but doesn't pound it. Drives nice, steers nice, stops nice. There's not a single thing on the car so far that we've found. Quality-wise, it's great. Performance-wise, it's fine. There's nothing it does wrong, and the clock does work too, by the way. Radio and the clock, and we don't usually check them and don't care if they work, but this particular car, both of them do work. So it's a nice car. It's a really nice car. I didn't find anything at all wrong with it, nothing. And everything works as it should. So take a look at this one if you want a sharp look at the 69 Camaro.